Welcome.
Family, Movies Brief here.
Today, I'm going to explain a comedy horror film called Mom and Dad. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A family of 4 lives in a suburban American town. The parents, Brent and Kendall, love their kids, but hate how their lives have changed after having them. Their youngest son, Josh, is 7 years old, while their eldest, Carly, is a teenager. At the beginning of the movie, Carly is talking to her boyfriend, Damon, on the phone. Her parents do not like the guy, but Carly, of course, doesn't care. She and Damon plan to meet later in the evening when Damon is done with his final test at school. At breakfast, their housekeeper, Soon Yi, listens to the news about a mother leaving her infant to die in a car accident. Soon Yi has brought her daughter Lisa to work, and they plan to leave after cleaning the house. The family is also expecting to see Brent's parents for dinner at night. Carly wants to cancel the dinner to go out with Damon, which causes an argument between her and Kendall. Unknown to her mother, Carly has stolen $100 from her purse to hang out with her best friend, Riley. Kendall drives her to school, and they get into yet another argument on the way. Carly harshly tells Kendall that her life is boring before getting out of the car. Back at home, Josh playfully hits Brent with his toy ball. Brent looks at his son with murder in his eyes, but laughs it off. However, we see him kick Josh's toy car before leaving. The housekeeper, Soon Yi, is pounding some chicken while her daughter Lisa watches Josh play in the background. All of a sudden, Josh turns around to see Soon Yi hitting her daughter with the mallet. Meanwhile, Kendall is out with her friend and Riley's mother, Jean. They talk about Kendall's sister, Jenna, who is pregnant. As Kendall goes through her purse, she notices that her money is missing. Jean claims that her daughter always steals from her, hinting that Carly probably did the same. Carly is in her classroom when the teacher gets a call asking him to send a kid to the principal's office. Soon, he starts to get several calls, and the school is surrounded by cop cars. Not thinking much of it, Carly and her best friend Riley go to the washroom, where Riley complains about her mother being a bitch. They buy some edible pills from a girl and step out to see the school in complete chaos. All the students are running around, while the teachers are nowhere to be seen. They join the crowd and see a classmate's mother trying to cross the school's fence. Outside the school, a large crowd of parents has gathered, wanting to enter the premises, but the police and the security are holding them back. Not knowing what to do, one kid runs to his mother, who brutally stabs him with her car keys. The crowd goes wild as more parents start to beat their kids brutally. Some even kill them in the open. This is a dream that every parent has most likely had. Carly and Riley manage to get away from the crowd and get inside Riley's car. Confused by what is going on, they drive to Riley's house. Meanwhile, Carly's boyfriend Damon is in the examination hall. There is still an hour left for the test to be done, but the parents of the students gather outside, waiting for them. The invigilator thinks it's weird, but dismisses the matter. Damon gets done before everyone else and leaves the hall. Behind him, the parents run inside to meet their kids. Damon calls Carly, telling her that the test went great. When he reaches home, he finds his father drunk, sitting on the sofa. Not thinking much of it, Damon starts to clean up the mess in the kitchen when his father slaps him out of the blue. At first, Damon dismisses it because he is drunk, but things get heated when his father attacks him with a broken glass bottle. As the two struggle, his father falls to the ground and accidentally stabs his throat and dies. At the same time, Kendall is in her car reminiscing about her failed meeting with an ex-employer. The man tells her that she has 2 kids and has been out of work for over 15 years, so they cannot let her in that easily. Seeing what her life has come to, Kendall starts to have a mental breakdown. As she sobs, she gets a call informing her that Jenna has gone into labor. Kendall rushes to the hospital and sees a crowd watching the news about parents killing their own children. Before she can listen to it, she is called by her sister. Jenna gives birth to a healthy baby girl. He holds her baby in her arms, but the beautiful moment turns dark when she starts to strangle the baby and has to be restrained. She even gets her hands on a pair of scissors and tries to harm her daughter, but Kendall snatches the baby out of her grip and brings her outside. She cries hysterically, asking the nurse what is going on. The nurse takes the baby to a safe zone, claiming that all the parents have gone crazy. Outside the neonatal ward, the fathers stare at their newborns, ready to attack them. Carly and Riley finally reach Riley's home. Carly watches the news while Riley goes upstairs. The news talks about a mysterious virus that has spread across America that makes the parents want to kill their children. Carly starts to freak out and goes upstairs looking for her friend. To her horror, she comes across Riley being strangled to death by her mother. She panics and runs away from the house, only to come across a man with a bloodied baseball bat. Damon finds her in the streets and tells her that she should stay away from her parents. The couple then goes to Carly's home to look for Josh. In the meantime, Brent is at his office taking a nap. He wakes up and asks his assistant to not take calls from anyone. Then he looks at a picture of his kid and screams, indicating that he has also been infected by the virus. Or maybe he's just being Nick Cage. Damon and Carly reach home and see that the housekeeper Soon Yi is still there. They carefully walk inside and ask her where Josh is. The woman calmly replies that he is in his room. The couple gets a look at Soon Yi's mop that is covered in blood and realizes something terrible has happened. Carly runs to get her brother, while Damon keeps an eye on the housekeeper. Carly finds a terrified Josh under his bed, crying. He claims that Soon Yi did something really bad to her daughter, but doesn't explain what. Soon Yi drives away after cleaning the mess, but an infected Brent arrives right after. He enters the house and sees Damon in the kitchen. As he orders him to get out of his house, Josh hears him and gets out from under the bed. Carly asks him to run out quickly, but Josh insists on getting his backpack. Brent is about to attack Damon, but Josh calling his name grabs his attention. After seeing his kid, Brent loses control and attacks them. Damon tries to save them, but Brent knocks him unconscious with a single punch to the throat. Following that, he trips on Josh's toy car, giving Carly and Josh an opportunity to run down to the basement and lock themselves in. They run down the stairs and see that everything in the basement is destroyed. 3 weeks prior to the accident, Brent had bought a pool table and built it in the basement to turn it into a man cave. He is pretty satisfied with his job until Kendall sees the purchase and asks him how much it cost. Brent starts to yell at her, saying that he deserves to spoil himself a little bit because he works hard. As the two get into a fight, he brings out a hammer and maniacally breaks everything he just built. He says that he wants to feel like his younger and carefree self again, but knows that it is not possible. Kendall agrees, claiming that she sacrificed her dreams and aspirations for her family, and although she loves everyone, she misses her old self. Back in the present, they've discovered a solution and simply need to murder their children. Kendall drives back home while hoping her kids are okay. She listens to the radio where the host warns the parents to stay away from their kids because no one ever knows when they might get infected. Kendall quickly stops her car, but it is too late because she is already infected and has reached her home. She enters the house and joins Brent. They bang on the basement door and ask the kids to come out. Kendall brings out an electric saw and tries to break down the door. At the same time, Brent goes to the other room to get his gun, but finds the gun case empty. Little Josh shoots his mother through the door, and the bullet hits her shoulder. It turns out that Josh has stolen Brent's gun and kept it in his backpack a while ago. Kendall makes her husband pour alcohol on her wound. Inside the basement, the kids hear their mother scream in pain and cry. Now, Kendall and Brent cannot enter the basement forcefully for fear of being shot. Brent thinks of another way and attaches the LPG pipe to the basement. This way, they plan to gas the kids until they pass out and attack them at the right moment. Kendall uses tape to cover the holes she just created in the door so the gas won't leak. Carly notices this and pokes her fingers out to investigate, only to be attacked by her mother again. As the gas begins to fill up the basement, Carly realizes what her parents are trying to do. A long time passes, and Kendall and Brent patiently wait for their kids to give up. When they begin to cough because of the gas, Carly devises a plan. She finds a matchbox and carefully tears off the box's strip. She then attaches it to the bottom of the door, along with some matchsticks. This way, when the door opens, the matches will light on fire, causing an explosion because of the gas. Then, she and Josh get into a vent and crawl their way out of the basement. The parents realize that the kids have gone silent, so they create a hole in the door and look for them. Following that, they open the door, causing an explosion. Brent is gravely injured, but Kendall survives and finds the kids in the hallway. As she tries to kill them, they are saved by Damon, who happens to be alive. He and Carly restrain Kendall and lock her inside the closet, but she manages to pierce Damon's cheeks with a hanger and breaks free. As the struggle continues, Kendall smacks him with a mallet and pushes him off the railing. Following that, Brent gains consciousness. He and Kendall walk up to their kids to kill them. But before they can, the doorbell rings, indicating that Brent's parents are here. He opens the door for them, but is immediately attacked. A chase ensues in the house, in which Brent is chased by his father while he chases Josh. At last, Brent and his father end up wrestling inside of a car. Back in the kitchen, Kendall tries to persuade Brent's mother not to kill him. When she doesn't agree on doing so, she smacks the old lady with the mallet. She then moves to Carly and chases her outside. The grandmother also follows them. All of a sudden, the car that Brent is in hits the grandmother, killing her. The grandfather is thrown outside because of the impact and is also killed instantly. Brent, on the other hand, passes out because of the crash. As the others watch the scene, Damon, who is still alive, knocks Kendall out. In the following scene, the parents are tied in the basement while the kids watch them. They try to fake being normal so the kids would set them free, but the trick doesn't work. Josh tells his parents that he still loves them. The movie ends as Brent says he loves them too, but sometimes he just wants to kill them. You gotta love a movie that spends its entire runtime building up to a bad punchline. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.